Ohio State, Texas will air on Fox. Let's talk about that game, when it's likely to be on television, and what we can draw from the announcements and the upfronts. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching the #1 college football show, welcome. Thank you for joining us here. We talk college football. We talk football year round. So if you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question below. Do you think that Ohio State versus Texas is going to be big noon? Or do you think that Fox is going to surprise you? I tend to believe it's going to be a noon Eastern kickoff, guys. I tend to believe it's going to be 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I tend to believe that's about 9 a.m. for those of y'all on the West Coast that call yourselves Texas or Ohio State fans, or even fans of college football, because this is the biggest game on the schedule, and that's how Fox treats it. I mean, the games that Fox announced at its upfronts today include Ohio State, Texas, and Ohio State, Michigan, right? For as long as there is going to be a Fox, I can tell you they're going to try to have that Ohio State, Michigan game on, because it is quite literally one of the biggest games of the season every year, no matter where either one of those teams is ranked. And if both of those teams play into their ability like we think they are, they're top 10 matchups, right? Just week in, week out. And then you look at just what that game has meant the last 5 years, let alone the last 2. The 2 teams that play in that game have won the last 2 national championships. It's not really that hard to decipher why it is one of the most popular games on the schedule. Then you got Ohio State, Texas for week 1, which means we get the Arch Manning experience and the Jeremiah Smith experience in the same ball game. And that, I can tell you, is going to be appointment viewing. Like, that might be 12, 15 million people watching across the country as that game is being played, because we expect those teams were going to be ranked in the top 5 at a minimum. I would not be shocked at all to see Texas and Ohio State at #1, #2, depending on how you think Arch Manning is going to play or how you think Julian Sayin is going to play, because that is where our eyes are going to go most. We're going to watch Arch Manning sling it. We're going to watch Julian Sayin swing it, and we're going to sling it, and we're going to draw conclusions about how good or not good both of those quarterbacks are. Most people would believe that Arch Manning is far and away the best talent at quarterback in this 2025 season. And if he chose to declare for the NFL draft, he would probably be the #1 rated quarterback going into it. There are many people that believe that he won't do that. There are lots that believe he's going to play through his eligibility because he really likes playing college football, and he would love the opportunity to play not 1 but 2 years as starter at Texas, where he's always wanted to go since he was a small kid. Somehow, the Manning family, which resides in New Orleans, has never sent a player to LSU, to which I'm going, LSU, that's y'all's fault. How y'all keep letting Mannings leave the country? Oh, excuse me, leave the state. Well, it's Louisiana, so parish, county, I can kind of get there. But leave the state, right? To go to Ole Miss, to go to Tennessee, now to go to Texas. And, kind of thumbing their nose in this way because they're just right around there. But I, for one, am excited about the Arch Manning experience, except when they play Oklahoma. That might not be pretty. That might not go well for your boy. Your boy might actually be out here talking about 300 yards passing against a Brent Venables coordinated and play call defense, and I'm not looking forward to that at all. However, we're going to get to see also what Matt Patricia's on about against Steve Sarkisian. And I think that is an underrated storyline going into all of this, because Arch Manning is such a big deal, because Julian Sayin, who was originally supposed to be at Alabama playing for Nick Saban, is such a big deal, because Jeremiah Smith is him at wide receiver, because Caleb Downs is him at safety, and because we expect C.J. Baxter, Ryan Wingo, and the group to really show up in a big way at Columbus. Yeah, man, I think this game could feature the 2 teams playing for the national championship in 2025, and that's not that tough a stretch. But underneath all of that, Matt Patricia's going to get the what, for, and how now pretty quickly. There's already a bunch of Ohio State fans that are skeptical about this choice at defensive coordinator, even as Jim Knowles also thumbed his nose at Ohio State to go to Penn State. And I was thinking about this in as far as who you would want to go get, and it was almost clear from the jump that Ryan Day did not want to go into the college ranks to get a defense coordinator. He wanted to go into the NFL. Even look at defensive line coach at Kansas City Chiefs for a while there, while promoting Brian Hartline to offensive coordinator and play caller, which means we're going to get to see Brian Hartline calling plays against Pete Kwiatkowski in this rematch of the college football playoff semifinal. I wonder how much that's going to matter, because Ryan Day called a pretty damn game. Chip Kelly called a pretty damn good game against Pete Kwiatkowski. Pete Kwiatkowski is one of the best defensive coordinators in the sport today. He's going to have his guys ready to go, and they've already got lots of good tape, recent tape, on what you can expect schematically from an Ohio State offense. And you know that you don't have to deal with Emeka Egbuka this year. Travion Henderson, who busted you to the white meat this year. Quinshon Judkins running through you this year. On the other side, you don't have to deal with Jack Sawyer rushing you, JT Tuimoloau rushing you, Cody Simon cleaning up, Lathan Ransom coming downhill, Denzel Burke, who was a liability till he wasn't, on the outside. So these are going to be different teams. I mean, for Texas, Kelvin Banks is gone. So there's your left tackle for the last 3 years. You're going to have to do something new over there, and I'm sure that that's going to be the first place where I'm looking to overload and exploit if I am Matt Patricia. Again, I want Arch Manning outrunning the football, right? I don't want him standing in the pocket, having a good time throwing passes all over the yard, because if you have him outrunning the football, I have an opportunity to hit him. If I have an opportunity to hit him, that's going to take wear and tear on him, and it's going to make him a little bit more antsy in the pocket, right? Like, nobody wants to get him hurt, but it is a great strategy to make the quarterback do things that don't involve throwing the football. And then if he can beat you, he can beat you. This was what made Mike Vick so great. This is what made Jaden Daniels so great. I jumped from one era to the next, because having a guy who can do the things that Arch Manning can do with his arm and with his legs changes just what you can take away as a defensive coordinator. It's one of the reasons why I think defense is so undervalued for college football among regular college football fans, right? Casuals, they gravitate to the points being scored on the board. Hardcore college football fans want to tell you, you play defense, you run the football, you can do whatever you want. If you can do those two things, you can win championships. Just look at what Michigan was able to do with J.J. McCarthy. I mean, most of the damage that he did was on play action, because you could trust that offensive line was going to get push up front and that the defense was going to come running downhill. They won a bunch of games that weren't high scoring because they could just grind you into the ground. Last year, that's what Ohio State wanted to do to start out. But after the Oregon game, they figured out, hey, we are really getting on our own ways offensively. Let's just throw the ball down the field of 4 and see what happens. And what happens is you win a national championship. Like, that's the game here. And I think you can make it that simple when you're playing against Texas again. If they want to try to take away Jeremiah Smith like they did after what he did against Oregon, Carnell Tate is going to be over there. Brandon Ennis is going to be over there. Quincy Joyner is going to be over there. On down the line, right? I tend to wonder just what the run game is going to look like, though, for Ohio State in this. With James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson, I think, going to be the two guys splitting carries in the backfield. James Peoples, who would have been the freshman that everybody talked about if Jeremiah Smith did not show up as an actual alien and prove to everybody he could play in the NFL today last year. I'm also looking at this from the standpoint of Julian Sand and what it is that he and Brian Hartline agree is good. Like, what do they want to try to do with him? Is his skill set going to be similar to Will Howard's? I don't think so. Will Howard's skill set is actually similar to Arch Manning's. Can you use that if you're Steve Sarkisian, who loves motion, who loves to put guys in unconventional positions and to fool the defense with their eyes? He is counting on you following players and not the ball, right? The misdirection in Steve Sarkisian's offense is kind of legendary at this point, because RPOs be a big part of it, and he wants to put you in binds. He wants you to make decisions. He wants you to make business decisions. Are you going to try to take away the run? Cool. Come downhill. We're going to complete it over the top of you. If you do want to stay back, cool. We're going to run straight at you. Each year that he's had a 1,000-yard back, we tend to forget that, right? Like, somehow Bijan Robinson was the guy that we thought was going to get left out. No, it wasn't true, right? And then you get into a situation where they didn't have their first-string tailback, their third-string tailback, and then you get Quintravion Wisener showing up to absolutely run through people. He's been able to do this. When he can run the football, cancel Christmas. I mean, I don't mind telling you, the 2020 Alabama team is one of the best teams of all time, and its offensive coordinator was Steve Sarkisian. That's what got him to this place where he got to coach the University of Texas. So I'm already excited about this game, and I'm sure that you are too, but don't be shocked, guys, if it's on at big noon.